Welcome into the Gaming Discourse. I'm Tyler Frater alongside Richard Day the Cruz.
Good morning.
And Chief Engineer Lieutenant Commander Connor Frater.
Surprised. Tyler's dead. I am actually the host for this week. We just decided to make it a little easier on ourselves as far as the intro goes.
Yeah.
But of course, as Tyler said, Invisible Tyler said, I am Richard. And
I am Connor.
There you are. And today we'll be bringing you the news for the Gaming Discourse podcast for the last week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but you can find us online at YouTube. You can check out our videos at the Gaming Discourse. Twitter, Gaming Discourse, I believe it is on there as well. And then, what else are we? We're on Spotify, right?
Yeah, we're
Apple,
on Spotify. We actually have an
Apple.
Instagram, too, that we never post to.
I was never told about that one.
Well, I mean, we normally have posted the results from the top 10 games of all time panels that we host.
Yeah.
We post those there.
Yeah, whenever we'll have another panel.
Well, we had one at Sabo.
Sabo 10.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Comic-Con's not till May again, so we'll see. Right, yeah. But we do have some stuff to talk about today, but before that, we will get into what we've been playing, and I don't know if you've been playing anything.
I played a little bit of Deathloop today.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's right. You do have access to that.
Tyler's PS4
yeah.
R.I.P. Tyler. No.
Oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that to come back, so I kind of... All right.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I've of course, the past couple weeks, I heard you guys talk about the there's a bit of a buy-in as you're playing through the first day or couple days as it's teaching you the game.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like though, and this is purely personal preference, I don't like how they tutorialize stuff. Like where it grays out the screen except for one area.
Yeah. It kind of like stops everything and like kind of forces you to like look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would much rather just have like the blinking thing or a little like exclamation mark next to it. Mm-hmm. But
oh, right. Yeah. So you can go to it later, or it's like, oh, I didn't look at that, and go, yeah.
Because like, and I know that, I've been playing games since I was 7, probably, maybe younger. So I know things about video games. I know what a loadout is. I know what skills are and all that stuff.
Of course.
And so when it's like, this is your loadout, it does this, I'm just trying my best just to skip through it as fast as I can. It's like, I know this information.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way to tutorialize things.
They're probably, I mean, you can always have games that probably will ask you at the beginning, like, hey, have you ever played a video game before? Yes or no? And if Deathloop kind of did this thing that was like, hey, we know how how to run, we know how to
sprint, crouch,
what a loadout is, but for the specifics of what we do in this game, we'll let you know at that point.
Needs to, well, not needs to be, but I would appreciate maybe a slider at the very beginning of the game. It's like, how much tutorializing do you need? Just the game mechanics, or this is the first video game I've ever played? Like, in between there. Yeah. That would be a nice slider to have. So
I'm sure that would be a little more work, but I mean, if we're going to get into the discussion of accessibility in games, that's valid.
And then you have games like the Dark Souls series, which has a negative tutorial.
It doesn't tell you shit.
It dumps you in and just gives you a lore dump and expects you to know how to play video games.
Figure it out. Yeah.
So like there's got to be a sweet spot between the two.
Yeah, there definitely has to be, especially in probably franchise games.
Yeah.
Like, I've played the 10th Street Fighter. You don't really need to tell me, besides the new things you may be introduced, I don't need to know how to, punch or kick or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying with that. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. The first Visionary you killed, that was fun.
Who is it?
Winges.
Well, Wenji. Yeah, Wenji, the scientist.
Yes.
Yeah, she splits herself and all that. Yeah, no, she's cool.
Yeah. I didn't like fully read what she did. I was like, oh, she's gonna be here. I just like glanced over real quick, just looking for anything to like vulnerabilities or anything like that. But I didn't I skimmed it. So I was like, wait, why are there 4 of them?
Yeah, more than that actually. And it's
10, I think.
Yeah, I think. I don't know how many are in, but there's like 4 different areas where she is in, because she splits herself and then constantly works on science all day, like her 10 selves. And it's really interesting, but also cool because you probably found them, but you do get audio logs of how like she'll be like, yeah, I found this, but then her other self is like, no, I did.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's kind of like a split personality
my
thing
favorite,
going on.
one of those logs is she's talking into it, detailing what she's been doing. She's like, no, stop bothering me.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk, please.
Yeah. The art style, I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's a really that futuristic retro futuristic look.
Yeah, it's they work.
I think either way works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good look.
It is a good look, and I was playing the other day because I'll talk about it soon. But I was playing the other day, and my wife kept mentioning how much it reminded her of BioShock, which I mean,
yeah.
By and large, it's not the same exact game, but the masks on the evolution or the Eternalists and just how kind of everything is run down, but also kept in place. It's they definitely, it is inspiration, I think, from that series. So. Yeah.
And then over the past week, I got the Fallout itch.
Oh,
so
nice!
I reinstalled that. And I'm doing just a playthrough. I'm doing a build that I didn't do in Fallout 4 very much, and it's just pure VATS. I'm not doing any manual aiming. It's just VATS. I'll do the occasional manual aim, I should say, but I'll VATS lock it first and then
go
sight in and shoot the guy.
Interesting, cool. Do you do any like mods on Fallout?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them.
It's a lot of it's not gameplay mods, but it's atmospheric mods.
Okay.
Like one of my favorite mods is Darker Nights because the game is just too bright, and if you turn down the brightness setting, it gets too dark. So, of course, because no game is perfect, and especially from Bethesda. So the Darker Nights mod really gives you a variation of like how, like you could have it like Silent Hill darkness dark, or you could have it in between. You can have it like just slightly darker than Fallout 4 base up to like super dark where you see nothing all the time. And you can even set like in the mod there's a setting to where it's always darkness even during the day.
Okay.
So I'm not playing with that one because I'm not completely masochistic. I do play with other mods, but a lot of them are just like texture stuff.
That's neat. I've always kind of, I don't want to say struggled with like mods on Fallout, but I love playing Fallout. But the most I've ever done is not mods, but just console commands.
Yeah.
So it's like I love to go through Fallout 3 and only use the Lincoln repeater because it's the best gun in the like for me the best gun in the game, and just give myself like as much ammo as I can and then that gun and go through it that way. Because I enjoy it that way, and I never really needed any mods to supplement my playthrough, but I've never explored it either. I almost did. I was thinking of getting Skyrim VR, and they have mods to supplement the VR side of it. So like they will actually give you feedback. So like if you in normal Fallout VR, if you hit something, you just go through it. There's no resistance. There's no like feedback.
Yeah.
So there's a mod to add feedback in there, and there's a mod to add just like a better experience for VR, and that seemed very interesting. But I haven't gotten into that. Someone should make a Fallout VR, not Fallout 4 VR, but because Fallout 4 VR exists.
Yeah.
But I kind of want
VR,
I want Fallout. Well, that
the isometric game.
That might be fun too.
Maybe
because there are like RTS VR games out there. They're pretty basic though. But I guess I mean like Fallout 3.
I knew what you meant. I was being an ass.
Yeah. No, you weren't. I was about to be a bad ass and say like no New Vegas. Screw New Vegas.
Ooh.
I didn't.
Hot take?
No, not as much. I just don't like the desert.
That's fair.
It
is a very...
The geckos piss me off too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Anyways.
It is a very bland map.
Yeah, absolutely is. Anything else you're playing?
I started playing a little bit of Marvel Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't gotten very far on that. I like playing as the Hulk.
Yeah,
fantastic.
He's awesome.
Surprise Miss Marvel,
Yeah.
Great character, fun abilities. But yeah, just playing a little bit of that.
Did you start a new game on that one?
I did.
The opening sequence is pretty neat. The bridge sequence and everything is really awesome. I haven't played since they added Wakanda, and they just added Spider-Man for PlayStation. So I haven't played since then, but there's just way too much other things to play. So
I thought it was funny that during the like when you first load up the game, it's like the seizure warning and everything, and down beneath it there's a spider warning. I'm like, oh, because like maybe there's like an in-depth like Spider-Man scene where you see the spider. No, there's spider enemies in Wakanda.
Oh, are there?
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
wow.
like spider robots that you fight.
Oh, okay. Are they realistic?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't seen. Oh, sorry. The way you talked about it, assumed that you saw it.
No, it was just like the warning, like arachnophobia warning.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to see that.
I think that's an interesting addition to, like having the warnings at the beginning. Like seizure warning, I think, is a good one to have, and legally supposed to be there.
Oh, sure.
The arachnophobia warning. I think it's just a nice addition.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
For the arachnophobes.
Well, especially if you're playing like a horror game or something. Yeah, because I know that there was a horror game I wanted to play a long time ago. It started with an I can't remember, but in one of the screenshots on the Steam like page, I saw that there was a big ass spider in it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not playing that one anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, just a bit. But all right, well, if that's all you've been playing, I have also been playing Deathloop. I actually finally completed it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I enjoyed my time with it. After I got done playing it, I was like, well, I can put that to rest, and kind of moved it to the side. And then I kept thinking about it. And I was like, okay, well, let me go play it again. And I started playing it again. But I was kind of just going for like odds and ends and trophy hunting and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I said, greatly enjoy it. I think that I have a problem with a game that doesn't want to give you all the information, and I understand why, because you're supposed to discover it. You're repeating the same days over and over. But when you have particular characters who have certain stories that I think should be important to tell, you should tell them instead of like me having to find them. Because there's a lot of information that I got after playing the game, looking it up online, that I did not get in the story. And I agree. I understand that's probably more than fair that I'm to blame for it by not going out and searching for these things. But by the end of the game, if I'm not connected with a particular villain or connected with the situation by the end of the game,
then that's a writing issue.
Yeah. And I think it kind of dampers the experience altogether. And I got to the end, and it was one of those endings that was just very vague. And I could probably, thinking about it now, I can understand, but also at the same time, I still have questions. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, the one question I did get answered is it does take place in the Dishonored universe. It does take place after Dishonored 2. Like I think Dishonored 2 takes place in like the early 1800s. Yeah. And Deathloop is in the 1950s.
63.
Oh, 63. Well, that's when
the first day was.
Okay. One 63.
One of the audio files by Wingy. She's like, today's the day to. It's 63.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because the Colt disappears in like the 30s. He's a pilot. He disappears in the 30s.
Okay.
And then he stays stuck in that loop for 17 years, comes back, and then he has like I guess spoiler alert, but he goes to therapy and whatnot, but then he gets talked back into coming back to the island. Okay. And then that's when this starts again. But I didn't know that. I mean, I do find pieces of that, but that whole story isn't brought. Anyways, so yeah, I think I have a problem with that, and I think by the end of it, although I enjoyed the game itself, I enjoy the environmental art, I enjoy the characterizations. Colt is so awesome as a character, and so is everyone else. The story and the
turmoil he goes through trying to name his gun.
That was wonderful voice acting. Yeah, wonderful voice acting as well. It's really awesome because he eventually starts singing to himself when you're like destroying electrical boxes to turn off the lights in a certain place. He starts like singing to himself about how he's the electric man or something like that. And it was really, really, really great. I do get confused as well because they're supposed to, the story is these visionaries come to this island so they can continue their art. and create new art forever, but they're living the same day. They can't exactly do that because they'll never, like, the stuff that gets made isn't, it'll just go back to normal. So I do have a problem with that. But anyways, that was Deathloop. I went back to Death's Door, which was a game I was playing a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
This little crow, he's a reaper of death.
Yeah.
And he's a little crow, and it's a very Zelda-like game. I was at the end, or I was towards the end, and I ended up beating it. And it was a nice, wonderful little game with a really simplistic story, but it was very entertaining.
Very cute art style.
Yes, it's very cute art style. Absolutely astounding soundtrack if you want something that's just kind of mellow most of the time.
Okay.
Very soothing. The final battles is where the music kind of ramps up, and it's really, really, really nice to listen to. I actually really want to buy the vinyl for it, but yeah, I got done beating it, and it was really good, and it was really nice little game that I'm very happy to have played and picked up. I think that it could benefit from like a map system. There's no map system, unfortunately. Yeah. So two things happened by the end of my playthrough. It says I played about 10 hours of it. I did not find a single upgrade.
Oh,
like my health was still 4. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm lying. I did find some upgrades. So I only had 4 health squares and like 4 magic squares. And I think you start out with 3 each. So I only found 1 of each.
Okay.
And it's mostly just because I didn't go exploring, but I didn't go exploring because there's not a good map system. So I would have to remember by the end of the game where I went and how each area is structured. And it's, sometimes it's very obvious, but sometimes it isn't. And there's a lot of positions to where you get there and it's like, you can't do this unless you have this ability, so come back later. Like, it doesn't tell you that, but it's just obvious that it's like, okay, but I go and do whatever I'm doing story wise, and I just forget. Like, I just forget where that puzzle is or where I need to get to in order to get there. But I did enjoy it because, of course, the main character is he doesn't talk, but whenever he's like looking at people, he's doing that bird like head thing where he's just like, and he's just kind of looking around, and I think it's really cute. And there's this, whenever you get an upgrade, you go up to a chest, and it's kind of like a mimic. It will like eat you and then swallow you, but when it swallows you, you go into a challenge, like to defend yourself. At first, you don't know what's going to happen, so you get eaten, and he's, of course, shocked. But by the end of the last one that you get, as he's walking up, he's already kind of like doing like this and getting ready for it.
Getting some stretches in.
Yeah. And then he just like it. So I thought it was very small and neat characterization throughout the game, but it's very subtle. And I think it was a great homage to the Zelda series. I think some people keep trying to push it into like it's a Souls-like top-down game, but it's not. It really is not. It's very much Zelda through and through. Although the last boss was a bit difficult. I think that was on my own accord because I didn't have any of my upgrades.
Yeah.
I still got through it, and I do have to go back. I will be going back and picking up some more items because the last boss left a key, and so now I got to go find out what that key does. And there's like a secret ending, of course.
Okay, but, always.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, that's all I've been playing, and I think we are good for the news now.
We want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors of this episode. They have been silently supporting us since the very beginning, and we felt it was time to give them some love. The like and share buttons have been at our side since episode 1 of the podcast. They can be found just beneath this episode. Please give them a click, it helps us greatly. If you're feeling lucky, click the bell icon to enter for a notification anytime we post new content. You may be surprised by what you get.
How much do you like the Battlefield series? Okay. Classic Battlefield? No, just...
I mean, 1942 was fun.
Yeah.
Bad Company was good.
I love Bad Company.
Bad Company was it had a really good writing. Characters were fun.
Yeah.
After that,
okay, sure. I understand. Well, a lot of people agree with you because the Battlefield franchise is going into a bit of a shakeup here. Battlefield 2042, of course, was in a very rough spot after its launch. Subsequent negative reviews and, of course, all the complaints of the game have really shown what AAA gaming is like nowadays with releasing an unfinished product. But whether it's because of these events or not, DICE GM Oscar Gabrielson is leaving the company to, quote unquote, pursue a new endeavor outside of EA. This causes several new developments as Vince Zampella from Respawn of Titanfall fame and formerly of Infinity Ward for Modern Warfare 2, he will be taking over as the new boss of the Battlefield franchise. So he will be overseeing where the Battlefield franchise goes from here on out. And Marcus Leto, a former designer for Halo, I believe if I am correct, he's the one who designed Master Chief. He will be building a new development team in Seattle, focusing on injecting new, more substantial storytelling into Battlefield. Byron Bede, the longtime Call of Duty veteran who EA hired earlier this year to grow the Battlefield series, said this regarding Marcus Leto's team. Quote, while he and his team in the Seattle area are just getting started on building the Battlefield world of tomorrow, their work will shape the later seasons for 2042 and beyond, Bede said. This new studio will act as the driver for narrative in tight collaboration with DICE and Ripple Effects Studios to help build great player experiences in the Battlefield universe. Do you think Battlefield really needs a story?
Well, again, like we were just saying, Bad Company and Bad Company 2 had good stories.
They did.
Now they were heavily stylized in a
comedic way,
a comedic mocking of war kind of way. So if you're going to go that route, sure. I mean, and then trying to think of other Battlefields that had like a story other than go kill the bad guys.
Yeah, sure. It's a simple, another country or another faction of some other place in the world is causing chaos, and so you go to stop it. I myself have been a bit vocal. I know Tyler, not to put him down while he's gone, but I know Tyler is not very big fan of like the Battlefield 5 story, quote unquote story, and Battlefield 1 stories. But I was a big fan of the Battlefield 1 stories. They did an anthology of 5 different stories following 5 different people. There was like a tank driver. There was
I forgot about those.
Yeah, a gambler swindler who like kind of swindles his way into becoming an air pilot for the British. Yeah. And then there was like a Lawrence of Arabia themed one. I thought those were really neat. I think they had a really neat direction of where they go. But yeah, by and large, Battlefield 3 and 4, I mean, their stories were extremely run-of-the-mill military stories. So yeah, I don't know if Battlefield really needs a story.
I mean, if you're going to take Battlefield and give it a story, like just pull one of the like many like amazing war stories that exist and just adapt it for your setting.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I think is sorely missing, especially from the Medal of Honor series, because they were the ones who started it. And Call of Duty 1 and 2 kind of helped with, or 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Brother in Arms, they take a lot. There's still more stories to tell. Not trying to glorify war here, but as long as the military has been around, there have been stories, whether uplifting or not, that can be told. But yeah, it was something like a futuristic story. It'd be tough to tell a really good story that people would want to buy Battlefield for, because as it stands now, Call of Duty, Battlefield, those games people just buy it for the multiplayer nowadays. Go ahead. One
thing that really stood out for me from that quote is the Battlefield universe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe Battlefield Portal.
Maybe.
Because you can use all the assets from other Battlefield games.
Start getting a Battlefield gaming universe.
Well, they can make it. They can make it like Metal Gear Survive, and like a portal opens up, and you can go to like different battlefields.
Driving Abrams into World War I.
Right. Oh my gosh. Because I'm sure if it was up to most people who play Battlefield, they would want something like Bad Company 2, Battlefield 2, or 1942. Yeah. Like give them one of those 3, and people will play it forever. But do you think Vince Zampella could bring anything to the table for Battlefield?
Maybe a Titanfall crossover.
Is there one already? I don't know. Speaking of Medal of Honor, it really sucks because it's also owned by EA, and once Battlefield got big, they kind of
went away.
Killed that.
Yeah.
You know, so I know they tried with the VR one, which I still haven't played, but I got nothing to speak on that one. So
the last Medal of Honor I played was, I think it was, they were like rebranding. It was just Medal of Honor, and it was one where you're playing as like SEAL Team 6.
Yes, yeah, it was. You're hunting down Osama bin Laden, I think, or
the Osama bin Laden,
yeah.
Placeholder,
whatever, whatever it was at that time. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. A new report says that Sony is working on an upgrade to PlayStation Plus. Jason Schrier over at Bloomberg is reporting that Sony is working on a new addition to the PS Plus service codenamed Spartacus. This service will also lead to phasing out PS Now. Said to be launching in the spring, this service will follow a structure of 3 different tiers of services, supposedly. The first tier will have the same current benefits of PlayStation Plus. You'll get online play, X amount of games a month. The second tier will supposedly consist of a large catalog of PS4 and PS5 games, very similar to Game Pass and PS Now. And then the third and final tier, which is what is making the waves in the news, is that the final tier will not only consist of everything else that I have said before, but it will add extended demos, perks, and a library of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PS3, and PSP games. It is interesting, and it seems like this is one of the ways that it will combat against Game Pass.
I was going to say that this is their move against Game Pass.
Absolutely.
Thing we've been talking about that they've needed to do.
Absolutely, yes. And they've had the means to do it. People don't know, but PS Now, PS Now started as a streaming service for games. But several years back, they started to allow people to actually download the games from the service as well. But nobody knows that. Sony is not really doing a good job at advertising this. Yeah. So do you think it would have any effect on Game Pass as a service?
I think, I don't think, if it does, it's not going to have a huge impact.
Right.
Mainly because, once again, you're going to have access to PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and PSP games. But the PlayStation is going more the way of quality over quantity, and these type of services really benefit from having a quantity. Yeah, you're having a backlog of 4 different generations of games.
Yeah,
but I mean, those are nice to have, but it's always going to be what new stuff can they bring into that ecosystem.
Sure.
And with the way Microsoft's handling, where everything is in it, more or less.
Yeah.
And purchasing studios and like saying, all right, now these games are going to be in Game Pass with like Bethesda, the Bethesda purchase. Microsoft has a better footing than, and I think Microsoft's subscription model is better. It's just the one, and then you get in. Yeah. This one, I get having multiple, like if you just want to play games, like online, whatever
choices or whatever. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, that it does remain to be seen.
Yeah, there's not a lot that we can speak about this now because we don't have the full details. It is rumored, and it is in the works right now. So as more information comes out about it, we'll be able to talk more. But I think that this is a step in the right direction, but Microsoft still has the leg up on them.
Yeah, I agree. And there was no like word on if Sony would be giving out day and date games as well, like when they get released. I think that's a little too much for them to do. But it is a nice alternative when it comes to like preservation of like older games. I wouldn't even call it preservation. I would just call it, I guess, keeping it in people's minds as a bigger term. People want to play their own games. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So people are more wanting actual backwards compatibility rather than a service that would stream these games or download them. But I know working at with what I do at a used game shop, it's nostalgia is very comes and goes very fast. So these PS1, PS2, PS3, PSP games is a really, really great addition to the service. But I think people would play them and quickly drop them. Not in the sense that they're not good anymore. These games are still fantastic, but a lot of people usually will play for like a half hour and be like, yeah, that was great.
And then go play Call of Duty.
Yeah, go move on. Yes, exactly. So I do admit, though, that Sony's library is bigger and I guess more nostalgic to people than Xbox, you know, with like...
but then, if you're talking about nostalgic libraries, the Super Nintendo that came out...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's sold.
Yes.
But how often is it like people are like, oh God, it's so amazing that I can play all these games? No, they bought it, they played it for 2 hours, like this is great, and they shelved it and they're like, I'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Back to a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it's something that doesn't stick around for a while. And that's not to the fault of the old games. Like I said, it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
There is a reason why GameStop doesn't carry old games. It's because that's not what's making money. It is the new stuff. And, you know, we do the numbers. I do the numbers every month. So I can tell you. But moving on. Take-Two. Oh, my God. Sorry, this story is infuriating. Take-Two Interactive files a trademark claim against the game It Takes-Two. In a statement to Eurogamer, Hazelight Studios, the developer of this year's hit game It Takes-Two, reveals that it has been hit with a trademark claim by Take-Two Interactive. Soon after the claim was filed, a quote-unquote notice of abandonment was sent to the U.S. Patent Office from Hazelight Studios for the title of the game. A Hazelight spokesperson stated that they cannot comment on ongoing disputes, but the team was hopeful it would be resolved. The team also did not comment on how this had impacted Hazelight's ability to sell or market It Takes-Two currently, any plans to rename the game, or ideas for any potential sequel. Anyways, yeah, that was the end of that sentence. Sorry, I screwed that one up. From this, the U.S. Patent Office records also show Take-Two is behind filings to contest numerous names with connections to the words Rockstar, Social Club, Mafia, Civilization, and more. Fuck off, Take-Two.
That is your official stance. Fuck off, Take-Two.
There's not much to talk about this. I mean, other than the fact that Take-Two they're being bullies.
Yeah, they're just trying to strong arm whatever they can.
Right. There's no way I'm going to go into the store and be like, yeah, can I have the game It Takes-Two? Right.
Like, you want shares of the company?
Right, yes. No. Yes.
Take-Two Interactive.
Exactly. No. Yes. That's exactly what I want. Thank you very much. You know, there's no reason for this to happen.
It's two different markets entirely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess Take-Two Interactive isn't a market; it's a business.
Well, yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
okay.
If you're going to purchase Take-Two Interactive, you're not going to the PlayStation Store or to the Game Pass store or to GameStop. You're going to you're going online and finding out what they're if they even if they're
the new stock exchange or whatever. Yeah.
So it's two different markets. Yes, they work in the same area, but
video games.
Yeah, but
they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah,
and it's obvious. The gaming conglomerate that is Take-Two Interactive, who owns Grand Theft Auto, who owns BioShock, who owns Borderlands, etc. It is not the same as a married couple almost getting divorced and being turned into puppets.
Yeah,
bottom line, Take-Two is completely being bullies. This is as stupid as Bethesda going after Mojang Studios for like using the word scrolls and stuff like that. But using Rockstar, like Rockstar Social Club. These are just words that they're trying to trademark and get money off of, and it's bullshit.
So are they going to go after the Marvin Gaye estate for the song It Takes Two?
They could if they wanted to. I don't think
it's copyright.
I don't think they'd win, but unfortunately,
no, they would definitely lose that.
But unfortunately, Hazelight has already sent a petition of abandonment, and so this has already damaged them in some way, or at least the game in some way, and it's unfortunate because Hazelight doesn't deserve this. I have not played It Takes-Two yet, but
neither have I.
It sounds like it's an incredible game, and I still haven't even played A Way Out yet.
Same.
But I have Game Pass, so it's on there. I might try it.
It came out in March, so we're mostly through a year after its release.
Well, yeah, it's Game of the Year nominated.
Yeah. So I think that if Take-Two was really, concerned about people mistaking It Takes Two for Take-Two Interactive, they would have done this before the game released, when it was being advertised as It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Rather than after the fact, after it's already made money. I mean, except for the fact that you only do trademark suits and copyright suits after something's made money, so that you can make money off of it.
Exactly.
But this is them just bullying. There's no, no one is mixing up the two.
Especially since if you mess with Hazelight, you're indirectly messing with EA as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to come of this, but I think it's a very stupid situation, very stupid claim. But
I'm sure we will hear about this from Joseph Ferris.
I hope so. I hope so.
We love his hot takes.
But beyond that, legally speaking, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for the tidbits.
All right.
A man discusses the news, but not like the big news, the little news. Little bit. This is the tidbits.
Another slightly infuriating news story.
Oh boy.
PlayStation Plus December titles were revealed. 3 games: Mortal Shell, Godfall. I forgot the other one. Damn. Anyways, point is, the Godfall version that PlayStation Plus users are getting is actually a stripped down version of the full game. Normally, on a PlayStation Plus game, you would get the full game. But Godfall is the version we're getting is going to be called Godfall Challenger Edition. Yes. It'll be given to PS Plus members for December with a caveat. This version of the game starts players off after the main campaign with all of the best gear so that they can just experience the end game content.
Interesting.
And not the full game itself. So I don't know if there's going to be some sort of tutorial to show you how to play before you even get to the end game. But I do know that there was a statement. Sorry, I should have had this ready, but there was a statement released by the Godfall team. So let me see if I can find it here.
While you're looking that
Connor,
up,
say something.
The third game that's on the December monthly game is Lego DC Supervillains.
Oh, right. Yes. The Lego games are great.
Yeah,
so.
they're always fun just to mess around in for 3.5 hours until you realize that you've spent 3.5 hours playing as virtual Legos.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, it's a very fun game. Very fun co-op game as well. Hold on. The developer Counterplay. The Counterplay spokesperson clarified with media outlet Eurogamer that the Challenger Edition is not a trial version of Godfall. It is a cut price limited edition of the game, though, and still a full game. But it's not, because we know exactly what's in it. And it's not the full game. So, but best of all is that it's even promoted that if you get this free Challenger version, you can upgrade to the main campaign version for an extra $45.
So it's a trial.
So it's a trial. Yes, it is a trial. We need to call developers out on this stuff, and they have been actually. They're getting a lot of flack.
Demo. Call a beta. If it's like a month out, it's not a beta. It's a demo.
Absolutely. But anyways, moving on. The original Titanfall 1, has been halted from sale immediately. Sales of the original Titanfall were halted on December 1st after a statement came from Respawn stating that just due to the fact that actually, wait, hold on. Where's my statement? You know, the first week that Tyler is gone and I can't get anything right. Sorry about this, folks.
Hey, we've been doing good so far.
No.
Yeah, I think we have.
Anyways, the statement says, quote, "Pilots, Titanfall is a part of our DNA at Respawn. It is a game that showcased the ambitions of the studio when it was first released more than 7 years ago and continues to be a beacon of innovation that we strive for in all our games. We made the decision to discontinue new sales of original Titanfall games starting today, and will be removing the game from subscription services on March 1st, 2022. We will, however, be keeping servers live for the dedicated fan base still playing and those who own the game and are looking to drop into a match." End quote. most of this, I believe, comes from the reason that earlier this year they were Titanfall 1 and 2 servers were hit massively with DDoS attacks.
I was going to say, do you think this is a response to that?
I think this is partially a response to this, absolutely. But they were hit with a bunch of DDoS attacks from a bunch of hackers who were counterintuitive way of doing it, but they were trying to get Respawn's attention to fix cheaters in Titanfall 1 and 2. But I don't think the good way to do that was to shut down the games themselves. But honestly, a 8-year-old game, Titanfall came out in 2013, I think. So for a game that old, for a first-person shooter and not a lot of people are playing, unfortunately, it's just not viable for a company to keep those servers up or the sales up. And it's probably better to just let the game die out than trying to struggle keeping it going, especially when they don't make much money from it. That's probably why they pulled the sales as well. But, we're not going to know the details of it because that's their business, not ours. And I love Titanfall. I love Titanfall 1, I love Titanfall 2, I love Apex, but, nobody talks about Titanfall anymore unless it's getting DDoS'd. Yeah. From other groups, but.
Or if you're just happen to know people that play Titanfall that are very passionate about that.
And it's like my nephew. It's a good game still. So.
Yeah.
But that's it for the tidbits. I don't have much this week. Oh. There's actually not a lot of news, but I hope next week is going to be a good one as well. That's all for tonight's show. Thank you very much for listening to us tonight. I am Richard, and this is Connor.
Rest in peace, Tyler.
Yeah, rest in peace, Tyler, I guess. Thanks for the house.
Thanks for the house. He'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
he's gone next week, then he'll be back the week after.
Yeah, sorry, he's not dead. He's on vacation. I probably should state that. We're so being jovial.
He talked about it last week that he was going to be gone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't listen.
I hope you listen to this and appreciate our rest in peace, Tyler jokes, Tyler.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.